righty. All righty. Hello and happy Tuesday. Let's see if I can get this switched over so I can pop in and say hello to you first. Hello. I hope everyone is doing well on this fun Tuesday morning, afternoon. It's lunchtime here. So I don't know what time it is where you're at and you're joining me today. So I've got crazy hair today, as my grandchild would tell me, because, well, I just do. When I got up this morning, the power went out as soon as I got out of the shower. So it's been an interesting start to my day. But we have power now. A little bit of technical difficulties, so I'm a few minutes late, but I'm glad you're joining me today. All right, so again, happy Tuesday. And my name is Wendy Lee, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the US. And I just wanted to say hello before we jump in to create today's project. So we are going to make this, I think it's beautiful, sympathy card using the dies from the Detailed Dove. I think that's the right name. I'll double check and make sure I'm telling you the correct information. So I'm going to show you how to create this one and give you a little closer look to it. So let's go ahead and switch our camera over, and then we'll check Facebook to make sure I'm live in the right place, which is not always the case. So, and hopefully I'll be able to see comments if anybody has joined me today for our video. So looks like, oh yeah, looks like you guys are already here. Yay. Hey, Jean. Hey, Amelia. Hey, Dana. And so good to see you guys. I'm glad you guys are here, and hopefully I'll try to keep up with the comments as they come in. So if you have questions, please let me know. So, all right, so my camera has switched over. I think I'm in view. So I am featuring the, sorry about the glare, the Here's a Card stamp set. So it's got a lot of great sentiments in here, but I pulled out a couple to make this sympathy card. So it says, I'm here if you need me on the front. And then on the inside, may your heart find the peace it needs. So I just thought that was a really nice gender neutral fun card. So let me show you how I did this one. Let's see, what do we want to start with? I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper because I know I'm going to need that. And start with my template here. So first thing I did was I pulled in my Seaside Spray cardstock, and I wanted to create a mask. So it's hard to see, but there's a shadow right around the heart here. So I created a little mask, a heart-shaped mask, and I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, put it down with just a smidge of adhesive. I did use a sticky note, but I did not actually get it cut on the sticky part of the note. So that kind of messes you up when you do that. And I created this template with the Stitched Be Mine dies. So this heart right here actually cut that out, and then I discarded the scallop border edge that it creates for this particular project. So the first thing I did, as you can see, hopefully you can see this in camera, the light's not too far off, but I wanted this to be muted a little bit, kind of to look like a nice sky. So I thought that I would go ahead and sponge a little bit. So I'm going to bring in my craft white ink. Hey, Sylvia, so glad you're here. New Zealand. Wow. Love it that you guys joined from all over. So I've just got a sponge that's got a little bit of craft white on it, and I'm going to sponge all over this. So you can do a little or a lot, so you can kind of see how it's changing the appearance of the cardstock. So you could use a designer paper if you wanted, but I really wanted this to look like a sky. And I think this is an easy way to do it. Now I'm finding with the craft ink, it does take a little bit to dry. We're going to move on today, even though it's probably not going to be dry. You could dry it with a heat tool. so that you don't have to wait. But because it takes a little bit longer to dry, it can be a little bit messy. All right, I'm going to go with that. And then I tend to find that it dries a little bit later than my application as well. All right, so we'll move that out of the way. I'm going to pull my sticky note off. And if it tears the paper, it's okay because I'm going to cover it anyway. So I've got my nice heart on there. So I'm going to set this aside and let this dry for a moment. And we'll go ahead and do the other parts of the card and we'll put that together at the end, even though it still may not be quite dry yet. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I've got my piece of Misty Moonlight. And again, I'm going to bring in this heart and cut that. And I don't want the scallop. It's going to just keep the inside, but I want a stitched edge. So I'm going to put this one in as well. I have these upside down just to show you, but I'm going to nest them together and run them through the die cutting machine. Now, if you have trouble keeping these placed where you want them, you could use some press and seal to hook them together or some washi tape so that they don't shift, because since they don't nest perfectly, you kind of got to place them. So that's just a tip in case you want to do that. So I've got my heart and here's the piece that it cuts out. And so I'm throwing this part away, or I might use it for something else later. I'm not sure. All right. So next I added some texture to that. So I have the Scripty 3D embossing folder, and I just placed this die cut heart right in it and ran it through my die cut and emboss machine. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of color to this as well. You know what? I think I actually did that. I did. My original sample, I cut the heart out in Seaside Spray, not Misty Moonlight. So this one's going to turn out a little bit different. I realized that I was like, boy, that has some lightness that I don't remember. So this one's going to look a little bit different than the original sample, but I think that's fun. Part of doing a live video, right? You just never know what you're going to get. But what I'm really liking about this as I'm watching this come to life here is look how great you can see the script, the font from that embossing folder. Nice, really, really nice. So it's a little different look, but I do think it's really fabulous. So you can do it either way. So you can either use the Seaside Spray heart and sponge Misty Moonlight on it, or use Misty Moonlight like we did today. Either one works good. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead. That's all the sponging I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pull in my sentiments. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that I'm here if you need me on the bottom of that Seaside Spray layer. Now I've already put the supply list with the cut dimensions in the header of the video, the description, I guess you would say. Hopefully I'll have this on the block straight because I'm using the block. Yay! I probably should have stamped that first because then I might have had a better chance if I'd messed it up to be able to flip it over, but I'm kind of stuck with it right now, right? All right, so I still want that to dry a little bit. I think I could go ahead and put this layer on with some dimensionals, and I kind of offset, when I sponge this, I offset that template over a little bit so it's a little narrower here versus here, so that when I place this down, I've got it slid over, and so it's going to give that shadow look to it. It's really subtle. You don't have to do it this way, but I just thought it was kind of a fun way to go about it. So we are doing sympathy cards this whole month in my card club. So my Forget Me Not card club, or you might know it as FMN when you look at my site. So we are featuring sympathy cards. Sadly, this time of year, we tend to find ourselves needing some sympathy cards, maybe a little more than normal. So we decided that we're going to do sympathy cards this month, and we're doing them for all genders. So we'll have some masculine ones, some feminine ones, and then you could always change up your sentiments to make them just beautiful birthday cards as well. So anyway, if you'd love to join us, if you're not a Forget Me Not member already, I do have 2 online club options. One's a tutorial only that's available globally, and then one is a product base and it's available in the US. So, all right, next step. Let's go ahead and adhere this. We'll see how messy this gets. We're going to go ahead and adhere this down to a Misty Moonlight layer. I am going to put my scrap paper back in because if I get ink all over, I don't want it to end up on the other parts and pieces. So, because I doubt this is dry. Maybe it is. It would surprise me if it was, though. All right, so we're going to let that sit for a moment. We'll move on to the next piece. Let's go ahead and build our wings. So to create the wings, this is the detailed dove dies, and I cut out of the vellum. We're going to cut 2 of the solid wings, and out of the white, we're going to cut 2 of the detailed wings. Okay, so take those. And so I've got those. And then I'm just going to adhere these right on top of the vellum. I think it gives it a nice soft look. And I'm just going to put my adhesive up in this upper part here. So I like the depth it creates having these spaced a little bit when they lay on top of each other. So you could adhere it all the way down. You could put an adhesive sheet on the back of this if you prefer before you die cut it. So you could just peel and stick. So I'm just putting adhesive in that section there. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one, just a little bit up at the top. I'm going to adhere these together. Awesome. Yeah, I can't believe we've only got, it's December already. So we've only got 1 more month to get the products, our favorite products in the August to December mini catalog, holiday catalog, however you want to call it. So these dies, I think, while this is technically, you might think of it as a Christmas set, you can definitely use it for other occasions as well. All right, so let's add a little more liquid adhesive. And we'll put this on here. Great. And then we'll go ahead and adhere this to this panel with some dimensional dots. You don't have to use dimensionals if you don't want it popped up, but I like them, as you know. All right, and I'm not worried about it showing through because I've got the double layer there. So even if it did, I don't think you'd really notice it. So pretty. All right, let's add a little bow. So I've got the, I love this ribbon. This is the crinkle, 1/4 inch crinkle whisper white ribbon. It's super soft and easy to tie. You can change the color really easily by coloring it with blends. So you can really have this ribbon in any color you want. But I'm just going to tie a baby bow. So I like to start with my 2 loops, crisscross it. And then I'm going to hold the knot. I say I'm going to hold the knot. I'm going to hold the knot and pull the ends. And then tighten that back up and just repeat until I'm happy with how my bow looks. So I do a lot of these baby bows. I like them. All right, we'll trim the legs here. Nice, nice, nice. Love it. So we'll just adhere that on with some glue dots. Grab one of those. And we'll just place that right up at the top there. Now you could play with your bow a little bit more if it's not doing what you want it to do, but I like that right there. Okay, next we will do our card base. So I've got a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock that I've scored in half. And so I'm going to run my bone folder along that edge to give a good crease. We'll go ahead and stamp our sentiment. I'm doing this first because if I mess it up, I can flip the card so that I can cover it up. Yes, yes, coloring the ribbon to be Seaside would be fabulous as well. I agree with you, Jean. Not too bad. I'll take it. Now you could easily repeat if you wanted to make it a little fancier. You could repeat these layers on the inside as well. These, the Misty Moonlight and the Seaside Spray, that would add a nice appearance as well. But I wanted to keep this just real simple. So I've left it just white, and then we're going to add some dimensionals and pop this on, and then we are done. So this is a fast, easy one. I've hidden my dimensionals. Okay, as soon as you get everything at your fingertips, then you find out that you move things. Maybe I'm the only one that happens to. I literally had a set of dies this morning buried so deep it took me an hour to find them. And they weren't buried actually. After all, I thought they were, but I found them sitting on a shelf where I put them so that I wouldn't forget where they were, right? Who does that? I do it all the time. So silly. Perfect. Yay. So you could add some bling if you wanted to add a little bling to it. I just kind of felt like I wanted a more subdued feel to it since I wanted this to be a sympathy card. So I like both versions. I don't know if you guys have a favorite. So this heart was actually Seaside Spray and then sponged with the Misty Moonlight. And then this heart was the Misty Moonlight sponged in Misty Moonlight. So it gives a little different feel, but I do like them both. Okay, great. Oh, Diane, I'm glad you like the card. All right, so you guys know, you might not know. So I mentioned Forget-Me-Not, and we're doing sympathy cards, but what I forgot to mention was December is the time where demonstrators get to pre-order out of the new upcoming catalogs. So I did place my order for catalogs this morning. So those of you that have placed an order with me in the last 6 months will get a catalog from me if you would like one. And if you haven't placed an order from me in the last 6 months, go ahead and place an order. I can still include you and get you a catalog out when they get here, and I send those back out. And if you are super excited about all the fun stuff coming our way and would like to get your hands on some things early and at a discount, love for you to join my team. You can choose these new products in your starter kit now, which is awesome, 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 awesome. So if you've got questions, let me know, and I'm happy to help you get started. All right, thank you guys for joining me on this wonderful Tuesday. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week, and I will see you again next Tuesday for a little more paper crafting. Bye for now.